Facebook, what's going on? How you guys doing? I gotta come on here and tell you a pretty funny story. I was thinking about this because I was looking through some of the websites that we've developed, and I started thinking about this one in particular. Look at my collar. What is up with my collar? My collar stays are not in there. What's going on with that, man? I got to get some collar stays in there. What's up, Jeff Pollock? How you doing? Brad French is in the house. What's going on? So I have this whale of a client, John Hamlin. RJ Grimshaw, how you doing, buddy? John Hamlin is a client of mine, and he's a friend, and he's just an amazing guy. He's an amazing dude. He owns Hamlin and Associates. He's one of, hey, Robert C. Stern, how are you? Zoe, how are you? So John is a giant in the automotive industry. I mean, a giant. And he's friends with some I mean, big celebrities. John is good friends with probably one of the best friends of Grant Cardone, and he's just an all around amazing human being. I mean, he really is a good person. And so I happened across him through some of Grant's stuff, and John and I became friends, and I looked at his website and I knew it needed updated bad. And so I started reaching out to him. And I got to tell you something. This is a lesson in sales. And I kept reaching out to John. I wanted John as a client. I wanted to be the guy that did his website, redid his website. And so I kept reaching out. I was emailing, I was chatting on Facebook with him. I was, I'd sent him some cards through Send Out Cards. I sent him some stuff through, hey, Greg Crane, how are you? I sent him some of the edible arrangements, the chocolate covered fruits, and I sent him brownies from Send Out Cards, and I literally went all out trying to get John Hamlin as a client. And everything that I did, he was like, yeah, dude, yeah, we'll do it someday. I got too much going on. And I just knew that time kills all deals, so I never gave up. I just kept going. I kept going. Now, he's down in Florida near Daytona, and I'm in Ohio. And so I just kept going after him. Meanwhile, I'm promoting Grant Cardone a lot. I'm putting a lot of, sharing as much as I can about Grant out to the world, and doing everything. And John, I see John every now and then on Grant streams. And hey, Daniel, how you doing? Mike Scott, what's up? Sandy Lewis. So this was probably a 6 or 8 month process, maybe a little bit longer. And I kept saying like, man, how do I get John as a client? Yes, I was, but I mean, dude, RJ, he's got a big company, the private jet, he's got the Rolls Royce, everything. And, I just knew that I had to, and you're right, I probably didn't show him enough of that though. I probably did not show him enough of how I could positively impact his business. So there's a lesson right there. But I kept going. And finally, I texted Elena Cardone. We were on Twitter or Instagram or something. And I said, hey, would you do me a favor? And she said, what do you need? I said, well, I know how much John loves you, and you guys are tight, and he needs a new website, and I can't figure out how to get him to move. Like, I don't know how to get him off the bubble. And she says, sure, let me reach out to him. So she said, I'll text you back in a minute. So she texts me back 15 minutes later. She said, done deal. He's done. He's your client. It's just give him, he's moving offices or something, like give him just, till the end of the month or something. So like a week or two goes by and I commented on something of John's. Hey, Jim Weaver, how are you? I commented on something of his and he sends me a Facebook message. It was actually, I don't know if I was humiliated. I don't know what I felt at this moment, but he said, I find it hard to believe that you would have Mrs. Cardone reach out to me, close me down, and not get your ass on a plane and fly down here and finish the deal off. And I'm like, well, and I'm sitting there. I mean, it hit me. It was like somebody hit me in the face with a baseball bat. I was like, whoa. And I thought, oh my gosh, he's right. I didn't really follow up from that place, right? And Melo, how you doing, bro? So I said, I mean, literally, this is on like a Wednesday or Thursday or something, and it's like 1 p.m. or something, and I said, well, John, as luck would have it, I'm gonna be in Daytona tomorrow morning. He said, perfect, stop by at 9 o'clock, let's do this deal. And I'm like, oh my God. Now I got to get to Daytona. So I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, I don't have a flight booked so I get online and I book a flight and about 30 minutes goes by and I'm like, okay, I gotta get going. I gotta get on a plane. I got a plane to catch. I'm going to I'm going to fly down and see John. And I'm like, so I'm pulling up the reservation. I'm like, okay, my assistant was standing there and I go, okay, so I'm flying into Fort Lauderdale and I'll just rent a car and drive over to his office. And she goes, Fort Lauderdale and Daytona are nowhere near each other. I go, yeah, they're right next to each other. She goes, no, they're not. They're like way apart. Like Daytona's way up in the northern part and I go, no, they're aren't they like right next? She goes, Fort Lauderdale and Miami are right next to each other. And I go, oh my God. I said, well, how far of a drive is it? She said, I don't know. I think it's a long ways. I think it's like 4 or 5 hours. I go, no way. Nothing's 4 or 5 hours away in Florida, for the love of God. So I get on, I Google it. I'm like, oh no, it's like 4.5 hours to drive from Fort Lauderdale to Daytona. I'm like, that's not going to work because now it's starting to get later. So I get back online. I'm trying to change the flight, and there were no flights left going into Daytona Beach. None. And I was like, oh no, I've got to work this out. Oh my God, what am I going to do? So I'm like, this is John Hamlin. He just said, dude, come and close me, for the love of God, come and close me. And I said, you know what? I'm keeping my reservation. I'll fly to Fort Lauderdale. I'll rent a car. I get into Fort Lauderdale. At 10 o'clock at night. My meeting's at 9 o'clock the next morning. I know I'm 4.5 hours away, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just rent a car, and I'm going to drive the 4.5 hours tonight, and I'll get there, and we'll just figure it out. So I drive up there. I don't get in a hotel room till 3:30 in the dang morning. 3:30 in the morning, and so I get up next morning. I get ready. I'm on my way. I'm going to be at his office early. I'm excited. And I tell my GPS, navigate to this road in Daytona Beach where he is, and it takes me directly to that location. I pull in, it's the back of this car dealership. I'm like, what the heck? What? And it's like I'm like 15 minutes early, and I'm like, his office is in a car dealership? This doesn't make sense. Why would it bring me to the back of a car dealership? I mean, he's in the automotive space, but why would his office be in the back of a car dealership? I'm like, well, maybe he owns the dealership. And I'm thinking, what is going on? And I'm trying to figure it all out. he's not in Daytona Beach. He's in a beach town, beach city nearby Daytona Beach. And I'm like, oh dear God. So I realize that maybe it's that. So I Google it. I'm like, is it the same name of the road, the main? Anyway, I ended up at John's office. I was about 20 minutes late, and he was so forgiving and kind. And I had like 3 hours of sleep, and I was like, dude, I feel like a complete idiot. I went to the wrong address. I thought you were Daytona Beach. And as it turns out, he's not in Daytona Beach. It's another beach town down there. And I was like, oh my God. And he's still, and I'm going to tell you, he's one of the coolest, nicest, most caring people I've ever met in my life. Like, the dude is freaking unbelievable. And you know, he's got this beautiful Rolls Royce, and he's like, let's go get lunch at lunchtime. And I hung out there the entire day till 6 o'clock that evening. He's like, let's go get lunch. And I go, all right, I'll grab my rental car. He's like, come on, man, get in my car. So I get to ride in his Rolls Royce, and it was an amazing day. I got a tour of his you know, new office building that I think they're moving into here soon. But you know, like, that's the thing is you know. And listen, I got to tell you something. When I was at the back of that car dealership, and I discovered suddenly, you're in the wrong city. Like, you're not as bad as Fort Lauderdale, but you're still, you know, I was still 20, 30 minutes away by the time I figured it out. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. So, you know, I literally, like, I sat there and I thought, you know, I should just say the hell with it. Go back, go wait on my flight out of town, and just go. And I was, well, I mean, yeah, I know. But like, when I went and I had the, I thought it was Daytona Beach. I don't know. I didn't know there was other little beach towns around Daytona Beach. But anyway, so I thought I had clarification. I had the address all written down in my planner. I had it all mapped out. It was good. I was good. I did not know that it was Ormond Beach and not Daytona Beach. What's up, Mike Chavez? How you doing, bro? So, you know, I at that moment though, when I was sitting there in that rental car behind the car dealership in Daytona Beach, and I thought, you know what? I'm too embarrassed now. There is no way I'm going to go to John Hamlin. I mean, do you guys even understand? Like, he's got pictures of him and Mick Jagger, or not Mick Jagger. What's his name? What's his name from Aerosmith? Steven Tyler. Him and Steven Tyler, and he's got gifts that Steven Tyler's given him. He's friends with Steven Tyler and all these other amazing people. And I'm sitting there at the wrong address. I'm at the wrong address. I'm like, oh my God. So, you know, look, all I can say is this. I said at that moment, look, man, you're human. You make mistakes. Everybody does. Hopefully he sees you as a human capable of making mistakes, and he's got some empathy in his heart. And so I just went and begged for forgiveness, and I said, dude, I had no idea that I had no idea. Did you know that there's another address on this same exact road 30 minutes away? It's the same exact road 30 minutes in the other direction. Did you know that? And he's like, no, what is it? And I go, ironically, it's a car dealership. And he's like, oh my God. And so anyway, we laughed about it. And, you know, like, listen, like, it's like, you can't give up. I don't care what it is you're going through. You know, John, like, it took me, and I'm looking at his website, Hamlin & Associates, and it's a beautiful site. It's a beautiful website. The first time that we built his site, he wasn't real happy with the way it turned out, and at first. And I flew back down there and met with him, and he said, "Dude, I want something that just screams class, and and this is good, but it's not where I want it to be." I rebuilt the whole thing, did the entire thing, redid the whole thing over, and so I went way overboard. John Hamlin is. Oh my God, Renee, honestly, at that moment, I swear to God, I was sitting in the back of that car dealership thinking about setting it on fire. I'm just kidding. But I'm sitting there going, I cannot believe that I'm late for this appointment with the John Hamlin. And I'm like literally at a car dealership 30 minutes away from John Hamlin's office. And I need to be there in like 5 minutes. It was like down to 5 minutes at that point. Because I'm driving around, I'm going, this doesn't make sense. Because you know how GPSs, can throw you off, right? And so I'm like, well, this doesn't make sense. It's got to be around here somewhere. And I'm like, okay, it's not in the back of a car dealership where they're detailing cars right now. That's not where John Hamlin's office is. I've seen pictures of it. Like, that's not it. And, anyway, the moral of the story is, you got to be able to laugh at yourself. And John would even tell you that. You got to be able to laugh at yourself. You got to be able to say, hey, you know what? I'm human. I make mistakes. It's possible. Everybody makes them. You got to be able to say, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I am willing to do whatever it takes. Now, I'm going to tell you, 2 flights and many rounds of revisions to get this website pristine, to get it exactly the way that they wanted it. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, but it turned out to be an amazing website, And so, I didn't give up. I did whatever it takes. I did exactly whatever it takes, Jim. And I went and I said, all right, you know what? I can't do everything perfectly all the time. But I'm willing to go. Even if I have to lose money, I'll go to the ends of the earth to do whatever it takes to make things happen. And so I did that. I flew down there because I knew that I could tell over the phone call that there was something wrong. And I said, hey, I'm going to fly down there and I'm going to meet with you again. And I went in and that's when I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I went down and I had sent John, he liked something on one of my pages or one of my posts. It was a poem or something that I posted. And he really loved it and mentioned it on the post. And so I had that thing printed and I had it framed and I had it shipped to his office in a big poster framed, really nice thing. I think it was the Desiderata. And so I sent that to John and I got down there for our second meeting and he had never said anything about it because he's John Hamlin. He's a busy dude, and very successful. Probably out making sure somebody was waxing the jet properly or something. I'm kidding. But no, he's a busy dude. And so I said, hey, did you ever get that poster I had sent to you? He goes, oh my God, bro, of course. Yes, man, I didn't thank you. And I go, it's all right. I just wasn't sure that it made it here. I want to make sure. And he's like, yeah, it's sitting right. And it was sitting right there. And I go, oh my gosh. He goes, I'm putting it up in the new office. And I'm like, wow. And so then he goes, hang on, I'll be right back. And he comes back. And he says, dude, you can't outgive me. I said, I'm not trying to outgive you, man. I just wanted you to have that. He goes, I understand, but I want you to have something that's really, really special. And I go, okay, what is that? And he goes, dude, there are 25 of these in the world. 25 of these on planet Earth. And this is a limited, there's 25 of these. It's a leather-bound edition of Sell or Be Sold, Grant Cardone's Sell or Be Sold, with a personalized letter in there. Grant has signed this copy. There's 25 of these on the planet, and I have one of them. So, when you're willing when you're willing to put everything on the line, when you're everything. Like when I went there, I was running on fumes financially when I went down there. I mean, running on fumes. And I still went and I gave it everything I had. Everything. Every last dollar. And I'm telling you, like, it always, always, always pays off. There's Daniel Fleischman. How you doing, bro? You've got to be willing to do whatever it takes. It's not, there's so many people out here online, on social media especially. Like I've been out, I've gone, 10, 15 days knocking on doors, cold calling businesses and not getting anywhere, and feeling like giving up, feeling like I can't do it. Feeling like I can't, I just don't have whatever it takes, but getting up and going anyway. Like, oh my God, I'm late on this, or I'm late on that. I can't pay this. I can't pay that. What am I going to do about this? Or what am I going to do about that? And just keep going anyway. And when you live from the mindset of being able to say, you know what? Okay, so I flew into Fort Lauderdale. So I flew into Fort Lauderdale thinking it was right next to right. I thought it was right next to Daytona. It's not. What's up, Richard Trevino? How you doing, bro? Keely. That item makes me want to strive for the 26th gift. What's that mean? I don't know what that means. The 26th gift makes me want to strive for the 26th gift. So I was willing to go all out. I was willing to say, all right, you know what? I flew into Fort Lauderdale thinking it was next to Daytona. It's not. Just so you know, I want you guys to know this. Don't make the same mistake I did. Do not fly into Fort Lauderdale thinking you can quickly jump over to Daytona, because you can't. It's literally 4.5 hours or something like that. 4 hours, whatever it was. It was a long ass way, I know that. And so you have to drive through some. I didn't even know these areas existed in Florida. Like the middle of nowhere in Florida. I didn't even know. I had no idea. So, I want the 26. There's only 25. Hey, Ron, how you doing? Yeah, there's only 25. And I have one of them. I don't know how many are left. I know the number on mine. I'm not going to tell anybody. But anyway, so it's something that's very, very near and dear to my heart. That's one of the most precious, prized possessions I have on this planet, besides my wife and my 2 little girls, is that leather-bound. And it's not even because it's a leather-bound edition of Sell or Be Sold, my favorite Grant Cardone book, mind you. But it's because the nature in which I received it and what I went through to get that, right? I mean, I'm telling you, there's nothing, the feeling sitting at my desk in Ohio when I'm sitting there and I realize all of a sudden, because my assistant's like, no, Daytona's not next to Fort Lauderdale. And I said, yes, it is. It is too. No, it's not. And I go, yeah, it is. They're like right next to each other. She goes, Ken, no, I used to live in Florida. No, they're not. Like, that's next to Miami, but Daytona's like way up north from there. And I go, no, it's not. Why would people go to the north part of Florida for spring break? She's like, because it's still warm there. And I'm like, oh, dear God. No, please be wrong. I was literally Googling it thinking, she's full of crap. There's no way I would make a mistake like that. I did. I told John the entire story. It's like, bro, what the hell's wrong with you? I said, I know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. I said, you want me to cancel my flight back? You can give me a little hop on your jet. He's like, no, dude, no. So, hey, Danielle, how are you? But, that's the thing is you can't, for me, I have so many stories. It's hard to be in sales. I am far from sheltered. I can tell you just about anything west of Ohio, I've been there. But no, I didn't drive. I've driven on the beach in Oregon though. That was cool. But so like you can't give up. I'm telling you, when I got up early, super early, like 6 a.m. I'm like, all right, if I sleep any longer, I'll oversleep. I'm like getting up. I got up. And I'm like, I got to be at John's at 9 o'clock. I'm 15 minutes away. I got this. And so, like, I'm out the door at 8 o'clock thinking, or whatever, I'm going to be there early. And I pull into the back of a car dealership. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in the wrong place. What is my definition of branding? I've never really defined it. I can Google it for you. My definition of branding is doing whatever it takes to get your name out there in a positive light. What's up, Jack Bridge? My brother, I love that dude right there. He's freaking awesome. So, branding is about getting your name out there in a positive light so that people become familiar with who you are. But it depends on what you're branding too, I guess. So, I guess for me, when it came to this deal I just told you guys about, I got to the place where it's like, dude, I'm doing this. I will figure this out somehow. And then I'm still sitting there and by the way, I forgot to tell you. So I'm at the back of this car dealership in Daytona Beach. John is not in Daytona Beach. He's in Ormond Beach. And I'm at the back of this car dealership going, where the hell's his office? The GPS brought me here. And I'm like, it's 5 minutes till 9. My appointment's at 9. And I'm like, and so I'm calling John's cell phone. There's no answer. I'm calling the office. There's no answer. I'm thinking, John's not answering his phone. Nobody's answering the office. I don't know what else to do to let him know that I'm running late. And I'm like lost, basically. And so I like asked my stupid Siri, hey, I guess it's not her fault because she knew the difference because when I said go to this address in Ormond Beach, she's like, getting directions to blah, 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 Ormond Beach, Florida. And I'm like, she sounds too confident right now. So I'm driving to his office and it was like 25 after, maybe even late. I don't remember exact time. It seemed like I was getting there at noon. I'm like, oh, God, nobody's answering any phones. What do I do? I'm like, I'm going in. There's cars in the parking lot everywhere. I'm going in. And I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to say. So I walk in and I hear John. And I hear John in a room and he goes, oh, that must be our late guest, Ken Walls. And I go, oh no. I go, you're not in Daytona Beach. And he's like, come on in, Ken. He's in a meeting with his entire freaking company waiting on me to get there. Well, I mean, he's talking about other things. But I'm like, son, can this get any worse than this? So I walk in and there's John standing there in front of everybody that works for him. And I walk in and he's like, oh, glad you could join us. Well, I thought you were coming in at 9. And I go, did you guys ever see the movie Trains, Planes, and Automobiles? I kind of felt like Steve Martin when he walked up to the counter with the one. I mean, I was like a train wreck. I literally was a train wreck. I was like, I said, I don't even know what to say. And he goes, oh, you have excuses. And I go, oh my God, this is painful. I'm like, oh my God. Oh God, I don't know what to say or do. I'm like, he goes, you're looking pretty good. And he introduced me to everybody and he kind of just eased up. But again, it's that being brutally honest, being authentic, being real, and just telling people like, look, like I flew into the wrong city. I thought I was flying into it is a horror movie. I'm like, okay, here it is. Okay. I flew into the wrong city. I rented a car. I drove 4.5 hours. I got to sleep at freaking, hey, Lisa Copeland, how are you? Oh, you're so nice. Thank you. So I fly, I'm telling a story about when I got John Hamlin as a client. But so I fly into the wrong city, rent a car, drive 4.5 hours, get like 3 hours sleep because I didn't get to a hotel room until 3:30 in the morning. Glenn Imes, what's up? And then I'm like, anyway. So like, you know what? Poop happens. Poop occurs. It happens. And if you're just honest, I'm telling you, like, there's so many people that I've met. I had this guy come and sell me. This is one of the shirts he sold me, and I hate this shirt. And I bought 4 of these shirts. This custom clothier guy, they're called haberdashers, comes to my office a couple years ago, and I bought like 1,500 or 1,800, whatever it was, worth of clothes, like 4 shirts and pants and whatever. Well, he shows up with them. And I didn't like them. I didn't like them. And instead of me just saying, dude, I don't like your crap. Get out of here. I paid the guy the rest of his balance and never did anything about it. I should have just said, dude, no, I don't like, they're horrible. I mean, $200 and whatever a shirt. Are you kidding me? Like, that's stupid. So like, when you make a mistake, when you do something, and maybe that was a bad example, but like when you make a mistake, Daytona Beach, I now know, and it'll be forever ingrained in my memory, Daytona Beach is nowhere even remotely close to Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is remotely close to Miami. I learned that lesson. I just was honest. I'm like, dude, I thought you were Daytona Beach. I told it to navigate to your address, Daytona Beach, and it took me to this car dealership, ironically, because John's in the car business. So because I paid so much for it, I can't like not. That's why. Perceived value in my head, I think. So, and my other shirts are at the cleaners. So, like, you've got to, I was transparent, I was honest with him, and I said I made a mistake, I screwed up, and somehow, hopefully someday you'll forgive me. He said, dude, you were 30 minutes late. I'm like, I think it was only 27 minutes, but who's counting? I mean, I don't know, it was somewhere in there. And he's like, dude, it's already forgotten, bro. It's already forgotten. So, like, you gotta be willing to number one, when I had the opportunity, when John said, when Hamlin says to me, dude, I can't believe you had Mrs. Cardone hit me up. She closes the deal for you, and you don't get on a plane and fly your ass down here and finish it off. And I'm like, I'm going to be there tomorrow morning. That's weird. And he's like, cool, come on by. Let's do this. So, look, I'm just saying, like, I didn't blame others. It was 1000% my mistake. And, it's like, I've heard Grant Cardone talk about this. Like, he's like, dude, if you're, oh God, Eric, I thought maybe you wouldn't be able to comment again. So, what was I saying before Eric interrupted me? I forget now. Anyway, I don't know. Oh, no, it was about the honesty thing. Oh, I didn't blame others. I don't even remember. It was my fault. All of it. Oh, Grant talking about if your electric goes out, if you blame the electric company, you're in the wrong. It's not their fault if your electric goes out. It's your fault. And I remember him saying that, and I was like, what? How's that my fault? I pay the electric company. He's like, you should have a generator. That's your fault. If you're going without electricity, that is 100% your fault. So when you look at it from that level, it's like, okay, if you take responsibility for that stuff in your life, man, like it becomes magical. And doors fling open for you too. When I told John, dude, I screwed up, man. I flew into the wrong airport, and then apparently I told my GPS to go to the wrong address. And I didn't realize it, and it's my fault, and I accept full responsibility. So if you don't want to do business with me, I fully understand. He's like, shut up. It's already forgotten. I'm like, okay, then let's move forward. So, like, you know, it's just one of those things, man. You gotta be willing to take responsibility for your stuff, and it usually a training issues. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Usually a training issues. Should have jumped on Grant's jet. Yeah. You owned the situation and it was appreciated. It was. John's a great man. He's a great, great guy. So, you know, look, I was going through some of our sites that we've done, that we've developed, and I'm looking at Hamlin and Associates, and I'm like, man, and then I started thinking about that story. I'm like, God, that was crazy. I mean, I've had a lot of crazy situations, selling situations, but that was one of the most insane. Flying into a city 4.5 hour drive away, the wrong city. Hey, Sandy, good to see you on here. Flying into a city that's the wrong city, and it's 4.5 hours or 4 hours, whatever it was, drive time. Like, holy moly. And not getting in until 10 o'clock. I have no idea what size shirt I wear, man. I don't know. An extra large if it's a t-shirt. So my wife knows. She does most of my shopping. So I will donate $1,000 to charity for a topless Ken Walls photo. You should do that anyway. Sell your shirts to Ron. Ron, do you want to buy my shirt or something? You remember that, Sandy? Oh, dear Lord, have mercy. That was a day. That was a day. But you know, that's the thing is people are like I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I mean, I was a raging alcoholic for many, many years. I got sober at 34 years old, and so probably because I was such a dipshit for so many years and made so many mistakes and hurt so many people, I have a little bit more forgiveness, more empathy in my soul for other people. Now, it doesn't mean that I tolerate, you know, stupidity over and over and over, because I don't. I'm probably sometimes too known. I'm too known for blocking people, but I have no problem. I have no problem blocking somebody. I've had people on my posts and on my streams that say that some of the dumbest crap, or attack me personally. Like, you attack me personally, you're out. I don't have time for it. Like, life's too short and I got too much to do, so you're out. So, you know, anyway, John Hamlin, if John Hamlin sees this by chance, John, you know, I love you like a brother. You're one of the baddest ass people I know on this planet. And he really is, with a heart way bigger than his body, for sure. I mean, the dude is incredible. So, you know, I've had a lot of great teachers in my life. I've had a lot of great teachers in my life, and John Hamlin is definitely one of them. And he taught me a lot about, humility too, like just being humble enough to, you see people screw up and then try to dig a hole of lies and all this bullshit. Like, dudes, just stop lying. Just stop lying. Tell the truth. Do something right for once in your life and just tell the truth. Like, if you tell the truth, it may hurt. John could have said, dude, I'm sorry. I don't do business with people who don't know where the hell they're flying into. Which I couldn't hardly blame the guy. I flew into the wrong city, but I've never ever, at that point, I didn't know the east coast of Florida at all. So, I flew into the wrong city and it happened. But, he could have easily said that. He could have easily said, hey, and you showed up 30 minutes or 27 minutes late for the meeting because you told your GPS to go to the wrong address. This isn't looking good for you there, Kenny boy. And I could have said, dude, Wes Beachy, what's up, bro? I talked to your brother tonight, man, a little bit ago, actually. So I had a lot on my mind. But here's the thing. Okay? Like, I don't make those excuses up for myself. I don't make those, I have, don't get me wrong, I have, but I don't, excuse me, I don't allow myself to make up the excuses of, I had a lot on my mind. You couldn't have even called an Uber. I don't know did Uber even exist then? I'm not sure. But no, I could have. I was at a hotel. But even Uber, like I said this exact address, it was literally in my Google Calendar. Like, I'm like, this is the address. Boom, here we go. We're off. And I'm following. Matter of fact, I got a hotel room close to that address so I wouldn't be late. Dumb. Not dumb, just, whatever. What I'm saying, though, is just be honest. Just be honest. Be real. 5 hours. Wow. If you just are, if you're honest and you're real and you just tell it like it is, like, look, I screwed up, man. I flew into the wrong city. Didn't know I was flying into the wrong city. I rented a car immediately at 10 o'clock at night, drove 4.5 hours, and I had to get coffee, so I had to keep stopping and taking getting rid of coffee, and then get a little more coffee, and so I stopped a couple of times along the way too. But just take responsibility. You got to take responsibility. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Right. Exactly. That's insanely close. Right. So, and that's the thing is, again, the guy is, and there's lots of people that I'm one of them, man. I've had people screw up over and over and over that were under my employment and or whatever. People make mistakes. The thing is we all of us are walking around with this weird desire. It's true. We're all walking around with this really, really freaky, weird, strange desire to be perfect. We really are. Let's be honest, right? We're all walking around. We want to be perfect. We want people to view us as perfect, right? It's like this shirt. I want people to see that I'm wearing this perfect shirt. It's not a perfect shirt. It's a piece of crap shirt. I hate this shirt. But my other shirts are at the cleaners. So we want people to believe that we're perfect when we know deep down inside we're not, right? We're not. You accidentally fart in public. Oh God, I hope nobody heard that. Why? Everybody farts. Like, everybody farts. Well, but it's just the polite thing to do. Why is that the polite thing to do? Who taught you that? I'm just saying, no, I'm not perfect. I'm perfectly imperfect, right? Or whatever. Like, we're all walking around wanting people to to perceive us as being perfect. And then we screw up, we make a mistake, and then most people will immediately default to let it rip. Most people will immediately default to wanting to lie or tell a fib or whatever about the situation. Like, oh my God, John, the plane almost, like, you wouldn't even believe that we would, like, you know, I'm not going to make airplane jokes, but like, you know, all of these, you can come up with all of these excuses, which are lies, right? Because the truth is, I flew into the wrong airport and I rented a car, drove 4.5 freaking hours. I got to sleep at freaking 3:30 in the morning. I got up at 6. I left early to get here early and I went to the wrong damn address because it was Daytona Beach and here you are and not Daytona Beach. And so if you hate me, you hate me. I'm sorry, but it's who I am. I screwed up, man. I screwed up. I have had no sleep. Now, I can go sleep in the airport until my flight tonight or whenever it was, or, you know, like, but no, he was just like, dude, I didn't come off like that. I promise you that. I didn't come off yelling about it. I was like, I screwed up, man. I'm sorry. I really, like, not only once, but like a couple of times here in this entire equation. So, you know, and I took responsibility. And because of that, and because of his level of class, yeah, Grant talked about it. But, you know, because I told Grant, he's like, you flew into the wrong airport? I go, dude, I did. Yeah. He goes, what? Why? Who let a few rip? He's hard of hearing, so don't think. That's funny, dude. Oh, that's funny, Wes. That's funny. I mean, that's the thing, man. We're all walking around in this world wanting people to think that we're perfect. And it's like, you know, like, we're not perfect. Nobody is. Nobody is. Now, that doesn't mean that you tolerate people, that you tolerate people, you know, screwing up over and over and over. He never said your name. Yeah, I remember him talking about it because I had told him about it. But, you know, like, we're not perfect. Not one of us. You're not, I'm not, and if you are, and if you tell me that you are, you'll lie about other shit too, because nobody's perfect. So, with that being said, that's all I got. I just want to come on and tell that story because I want people to understand that you don't have to be perfect to be happy. You don't have to be perfect to be successful. You just have to not freaking give up. You have to not stop trying. Strive for perfection, maybe. Strive to do well. Make great strides. Push as hard as you can. You know, Sandy's a hairdresser. I've seen the way she keeps her hair, and it's always perfect. Hey, Wes, you're awesome, brother. I appreciate you. We have a meeting coming up in a couple weeks, by the way. So, like, hey, strive for doing the best you can. But, man, put down the ball bat. My first AA sponsor taught me that. I was like, dude, I did this, and I screwed up. And he's like, put down the ball bat, bro. Quit beating yourself up, man. You've done that your whole life. Quit beating yourself up. Put the ball bat away. Stop beating yourself up. Life's hard enough. You don't have to beat the shit out of yourself all the time. Don't beat the shit out of yourself all the time. Put it down and just keep on going. Acceptance. That's what people want from others. Yes. People want others to accept them. Absolutely. And they'll do everything they can. I mean, look, I try to make sure my hair is in decent order. It freaks me out to do that because I have really dry hair, so it gets staticky and stands up. So like, you know, that's all I got. I have a 10 o'clock appointment I need to get ready for, and I'm not wearing this shirt. I'm going to go change. But, you know, like, just remember that you're not going to be perfect no matter what. You're not going to be perfect. Ever. It's not going to happen. You're going to make, there's going to be little, now, again, I'm not giving anyone the excuse or the ability. I'm not saying, hey, you have permission to go out and intentionally screw up, because then you're just a loser if you do that. If you're doing it on purpose, then you're a loser. I'm saying that you know, you gotta really accept responsibility for who you are and what you are. And no, I'm not obsessed with this shirt, dude. I hate this shirt. But like, you know, accept who you are, accept what you are, and do the best you can. Like, literally do the best you can. And when you think you've done everything that you can do, thank you, Keely. When you think that you've done everything that you think you can do, remember this. You have more fuel in the tank. You can do more. You can do more, I promise you. I promise you can do more. Never believed that until probably recently, actually. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'm going to go set this shirt on fire. Not with me in it. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. You guys have a great night. Thank you. I appreciate and love y'all. Thank you for all the hearts, the shares, the comments, and the love. Peace out.